So this is a JB Bickerstaff question. Who do you think will benefit the most from getting coached by him?
Asar Thompson. I don't even have to think about that. I think Asar Thompson is JB Bickerstaff's dream wing prospect. I think he will absolutely adore working with Asar. I mentioned Okoro earlier. I feel like Asar has everything JB liked about Okoro plus more. I think he is objectively a better prospect than Okoro, and I think he has such an immense defensive ceiling. I think literally if he was on any other team in maybe even a play-in capacity, I think Asar would have at least gotten votes for an all-defense team his rookie year. And that's not normal. I hope people realize the things he shows on defense are not normal. Players just don't do that right out the gate.
Yeah.
His feel defensively is we want to talk about generational. There's not many guys that can come into the league and defend and adapt to the game the way he did. And I think it's such a disservice to his skill set that he ended up just getting kind of put in the corner and, not necessarily on offense. I should clarify, he was put in the corner. He wasn't really maximized his potential towards the second half / whenever Boyan got back is when, things started to go downhill. But in the beginning of the season, Asar kind of had to be that freestyle, small forward, power forward. He had to kind of do both things, and he actually excelled. The fact that he was such a prolific offensive and defensive rebounder at his size, 6'6", and you're one of the best rebounders in the league, which was the case for the beginning part of the season last year, is absolutely I hope people don't forget how special that is, because that's not normal. And I think JB looks for guys like that all the time. If you ever watch any Cleveland Cavaliers basketball game, the guys that he really likes are hopefully doing the things that Asar can do. I don't think Asar's 3-point shooting will be nearly as bad as it was last year if he has time with Fred Vincent. I know he's coming back from the blood clot thing, but even then, if you can just put Asar in a role where he is guarding other teams' best players, able to grab offensive rebounds, and just be a Aaron Gordon level offensive player where he's just kind of playing that dunker spot, I think he's going to benefit immensely from playing under JB versus playing under Monty, for example.
Yeah, I was calling him mini Rodman last year because some of the rebounds he was just grabbing and the stonks he was getting, I was looking, he blocked more shots last year than Jalen Duren, which I was really surprised when I was on Basketball Reference. I was like, wow, that's kind of a problem, but I'm really impressed as a rookie. You block more shots than a center.
It literally all it took was watching some game footage of his is it's so clear to see how special of a defender he is. It's unbelievable. And as a rebounder as well, at his size is just it's unmatched.
Yeah, it's insane. I had Isaiah Stewart for this one. And the reason why I'm going Stu is obviously I don't think he's going to be starting. I think Tobias Harris will get that starting line at power forward. But I think there's going to be a new carved role for him where he's more of that energy big. I know we talked last time you were on, putting him in a Naz Reid type of role. I think that's the role that he's probably going to be put in. Maybe you have him as a backup center some nights. Maybe him and Paul Reed are sharing the front court together. It's just a too big lineup off the bench. I think Stu has I don't want to say he has another gear in development, but I could see him this year putting the ball on the floor more, because I think last year that's something that he tried to do, but it seemed as soon as he did, he didn't really know what to do, and it kind of caused into a turnover. I think him putting the ball on the floor and passing, I think, will be improved this season under JB.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with any of these guys, having carved out roles, defined roles for them is going to be such a massive improvement, because when guys don't have defined roles and they kind of have to freestyle, or they have to do this thing where they have to figure it out on the fly, it can go one of two ways. And most of the time it's not going to go well, because players need guidance. They need a defined role, because if you guys are just out there doing stuff, then you're not playing team basketball and you're not playing winning basketball. So I think Stu also is 100%. Like if I were to rank players as who I think will benefit the most from JB, it's going to be Asar. I would put Stu number 2, and then I would honestly like if Ron Holland can find his way into getting minutes, I would put him at number 3. I think he would benefit greatly from learning from JB, because I think along the lines of like that whole dream wing prospect, like Ron Holland has the size advantage on a guy like Asar, where he has the longer wingspan, he's taller, and he can kind of do more offensively than Asar can. He may not be like the defender Asar is, but like still along similar lines as defensive pests and, you know, like offensive Swiss Army knives like that. And that's a word head coach Jamil McMillan used, like the Cruise head coach used Swiss Army knife for a guy like Tosan last year. But like Swiss Army knife is the perfect way to describe guys like Ron Holland and guys like Asar Thompson. I think those types, and even an Isaiah Stewart for that matter, like all are guys that like have that switchability that JB's going to love and have that defensive presence that JB's going to love.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how he uses these guys and puts them in rotations and staggers the guards, because he did mention that. Like I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Jaden Ivey had a good season, had a breakout season with getting staggered, having a defined role, not really getting benched for a player that's fighting for a roster spot right now. Like I think he could have a breakout season. You never know. I'd love to be proven wrong with the fit with him and Gate. I really would.